What's up there, people? I'm Chef Michael Reyes and you're watching The Hungry Winos. What is the deal with sweet potatoes and yams? So if I were to ask you, sweet potato or yam, would you know the difference? Too slow. This is a sweet potato and this is a yam. Why is it so hard to distinguish? Because markets screw it up all the time. Sweet potato is very nutritious for you. It's going to be yellow, okay? Remember that. Yam, it's going to be red. When you open it up, it's going to be orange. That's a yam. Now, could you intermix them and do a sweet potato pie or a yam pie? Sure, but it's usually the sweet potato. So don't let your grocer fool you. Remember, orange, yellow. All right, let's get cooking. So back to the yams. I realize some of you are all into the marshmallow thing and the same traditional sweet yams. But today we're gonna do a little bit of Latin flavors. And we're gonna make a simple au gratin. We have a little bit of Chipotle peppers here, and we have some manchego cheese, some simple chives, and some heavy cream. Now to get this process started, I wanna go to the yams. Now, I get a lot of flack sometimes with my chef buddies because I slap all these yams or potatoes, if I'm doing au gratin, into the pan, and I don't layer salt and pepper. So for those people, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Now for people like me, what you could do after this is when you're heating your cream, add the salt and pepper there. It'll meld the flavor, and when you pour it in for the au gratin, there you have it. The yam has no idea if it's getting salt and pepper before or inside the juices. So really, what's the big difference? All right, you wanna get yourself a hot pan. You have a little bit of cream, it goes in. Now, if you want a new kitchen, go ahead and crank this bad boy up, leave it for about 5 minutes, and you'll have fire in your hands. So when you start doing cream or milk, it's gonna scald and bubble pretty quick. So stand by here. So while this is starting to cook, the chipotle peppers. Now, if you just want a little bit of flavor, you can add a little bit, which would be like a teaspoon, which is cool if you're not used to this. If you like it a little bit hotter, add another one. If you're like Latin, add one more. But if you're like my family, we like it hot. So we go like 3 or 4. So this will be kind of smoking. So anyway, what we're looking for is for this not to totally scald. What you want to be able to see is just a little bit of bubble, okay? If it gets too much, the cream is going to start to separate. We don't want that. Now you're beginning to see a little bit of bubble. So what you want to do is make sure you stir the bottom of the pan so you're not getting this pan black, or else you get little specks in your au gratin. So now we're going ahead and ready to pull this bad boy off. All you want to do now is take it to your au gratin. Now if you have a problem with having seeds or a little bit of these pieces of jalapeno, go ahead and strain it out first if you like. I don't care. So I'm going to go ahead and pour this in. I would pour it halfway up. What's going to happen is it's going to evaporate and it's going to cook your yams. Now we go ahead and cover this and it'll steam up. See where my line is for my cream? All this will steam and shrink down. If by chance you have too much cream at the end, go ahead and pour it out. It's not going to matter. Also, one last tip of the day. This will bubble even if it has foil on it. Go ahead and put yourself a sheet pan so in case it does fall over, it doesn't hit your oven and cause a bunch of smoke. So you want to have a nice 400-degree preheated oven. This is going to go in for about a half hour to 40 minutes just to check it. If you pull it out and you can stick a fork through it, it's done. Let's go ahead and wrap this up and get this in. So the yams have been in the oven for about 45 minutes. I did the little fork test. It goes in, it comes out. What I want you to notice too is how the cream rose. Everything dropped and the cream kind of rose. So that's totally nice. I want to finish this off by adding a little bit of manchego cheese. I want to get it, nice little au gratin going. Now if you want to, you can go ahead and do your broiler for about 2 or 3 minutes and it becomes nicely toasty. I just like to melt it a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this back in the oven. I'm going to raise my temperature to about 450 and leave it in for about 5 minutes. We'll pull it out and try it. All right, we just pulled it out of the oven after 5 minutes. I want you to see how it's still bubbling. Now, as it gets cool, the cream will settle down to the bottom. So obviously this is really, really hot. But I want you to notice we have color, we have some cheese, looks really, really good. It'll go great with your turkey. Has a nice flavor. I want to finish this off with a little bit of chive, nice little onion flavor. Make sure when you do this, it's right before you serve, because if you put the onions on, the chive, they'll get gray and black over time. So right before your little dinner service or lunch service, go ahead and put these on. It has a nice bright look to it. So I want to taste these to make sure they're like really good. Let's try these bad boys. Now don't try this at home because it's really freaking hot. See the steam? Paid professional. Go ahead and try this. Really nice. Really creamy. Has a nice little chipotle bite. Salt, pepper, everything's good. You're gonna love this recipe. I'm Chef Michael Reyes. You've been watching The Hungry Winos. See you next time.